Hello everyone. So in this video we're going to talk about filtering and routing in Splunk. So what I mean by filtering and routing is that, for example, let's say we are in a Splunk instance which we consider as a heavy forwarder. Don't worry, heavy forwarder is nothing but a Splunk instance in which we send data to other indexes. Indexes is just the same as Splunk instance where we store the data. So as you know, the word filtering, we just filter certain types of things, for example, good or bad. In our case, we're going to take events that are failure and success, and then route. We're just going to say them where to go if they're success and where to go if they're error. That's just a basic idea of filtering and routing. So we're using this, for example, to show you a simple example. We're just going to do it in a custom file and then try to send error events in another indexer and then success event in another indexer. So let's just dive into the video. As always, if you need code and anything that I'm typing will be available in the Git. So please check the description of this video when this video is published to look up and copy paste the codes if you are unfamiliar to code along with the video. So let's go. Okay, so we are in the compute engine. So the problem that we are trying to solve, or the demonstration that I'm going to show you, is filtering and routing. What I mean by that is that I have a heavy forwarder. So don't worry if you don't know what heavy forwarder is. It's just a Splunk instance which just forwards the data to two indexes. Don't worry about the indexer. It's also a Splunk instance. All the instances are basically with different roles are called each name. For example, this just forwards. You might understand why it is called as heavy forwarder, because the Splunk enterprise is installed in this instance, so this is heavy forwarder. So if there is no enterprise installed, it's just universal forwarder because just you can access using backend. So this is my heavy forwarder and this is my two indexer instances. So I've already opened and launched all of this to save the time of this video, because this concept is a little bit big and I don't want to make it so big. So if it's too large, I'll just make it into part 1, part 2 videos. So before, let me just explain it a little bit easier with an visualization, because that makes it everything easier. So Microsoft Whiteboard. So what I'm going to do is filtering and then routing. So what I mean by filtering is just going to filter data and then send to particular or the corresponding indexes. So let's just make a box real quick. Make another box. For example, let's just say I'm going to make a custom file, which is let's name this log file, and then I'm using heavy forwarder, which is HF heavy forwarder, and I'm gonna let's say I'm gonna use this for the file log. I'm gonna just monitor it, so continuously monitor it. And what I'm gonna do is if, and I have two instances here. One is indexer 1, obviously. In our case, this is called as Splunk 1, and the indexer 2, basically, which is in our case is called as Splunk 2. So I'm just gonna filter the events according to my wish and then my condition, and then I'm just gonna send the corresponding, for example, let's say this log file. And then if I want to have, for example, let's say error events, I'm just gonna send to indexer 1. And if I have the basic, if I want success, I'm gonna send it to indexer 2. So it's very basic and very simple, to be honest with you. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna monitor a file continuously, and then if there are error event, we're just gonna send it to indexer 1, and if there are success, and then we're gonna send it to indexer 2. Very simple concept. It just happens because of, I think, The more you leave idle, it just gets, but nothing, none of the data is lost, so we're good. So we just, what are we going to do? As we saw in the diagram, we're just going to create a log file for the moment. It'll just take some time, and then we'll just see the stuff that we wanna, the events. So let's just go for, so basically this is the, I am in the heavy forwarded instance, and these two are the index 1 and index 2. That's why I separated to easy understanding. So we just go with, as it says, it's an error. So if you see there's lots of error, let's just always be careful when you choose your error, because the way that I'm going to write the the filtering, the regex. So don't worry, just I'll just explain later. Let's just take this, because this seems a little bit easier to Control C, and I made a little bit notepad. So this is an error event. I'm just going to paste it. Give enter. So don't worry about this. This is just, I made a little bit of notepad, which, as you already, if you're following me, I also make a GitHub repository to make it easier for you to understand. And so all this code and all this stuff will be available in the Git when this video is published. So don't worry about that. So this is nothing but the external IP addresses of the instances for me to easy. So this error. So don't worry. It's a little bit preparation to be easier. And then let's just go for success. Don't want this to be again. Okay, let's just go sudo sim, then cd, and we just success. So we'll just take this because it's small, but you can take this as well. Okay, I'll just take this. Control C. Then we'll go to the notepad, and the moment we'll just save it in the success event. Yes, nothing. Just save it. Then come back here. So, as you know, as this explains, we want to create a log file first. So let's just do that. So we just go to where are the log files for the Splunks are there. So log opt splunk /var/log /splunk. This is all this stuff. This is test.log, which I created a couple of minutes ago to check it. Because as you know, you have to teach, you have to know the things yourself. So I just tried it and it worked perfectly. So anyway, I'll just create a new nano test, no, text test.log and give nano. And then for the moment, we don't want to have anything. So we'll just create an empty file and then import it inside. So what I'm doing touch is that the nano doesn't work. Like if you just create and open it and close it, it's not going to show it in the test of the list of files. You just give touch, just creates an empty. I'm just going to clear it. It's just so messy. So if you see, test is our file, not the test text. So we'll just go to the administrator and then data inputs. This is heavy forwarded, by the way. So add directory. We do the same stuff. We go to opt where log Splunk. Then you see the test log, which is empty, obviously. Select, then give next. And the source type is very important. You need to remember what you give. The source type is very important, as I said. So we just give test1 because I already have, so it's a bit easy. So test1 will just give test1, or you can give test and then go next. Let's just keep it like this. Search and reporting is, and then review. Monitoring, yes, but there's nothing in, so it's good. Submit. So now what we are supposed to do is we are still going to make some configuration changes in the heavy forwarder, obviously. But if you don't prefer this by doing this in a GUI form, there's also a way that you can do. All you have to do is go to the backend of the Splunk, because the Splunk is so beautiful in such a way that you can do all that in the backend as well. I'm just going to show you because we have already used the GUI and done. So let's just go to opt/Splunk etc/apps, then system. Now search, I believe, because we just want to see search, then local, and we are supposed to see inputs. Yes, inputs.conf. If you see, I've already done the text one, as I said, but the test is ours because the source type is test1. So this is how you do in case you don't have a GUI. For example, in universal forwarders, we don't have a GUI, we just do this. So this is already done because we done it in the GUI. So now what we're supposed to do is we're just gonna, as I said, we need to make some configuration changes, create some files. So now what we're supposed to do is we're going to go and create an outputs.conf file to let the heavy forwarder know in case of error where to send, in case of success where to send. So basically we are in the system.local, which is not cd dot go back. I hope there's a system. Yes, there will be a system. cd system, then we go to local, and then here there is an output conf created. For you, I'm guessing there is no output.conf created, so don't worry about that. Just go, I'll just create nano.outputs.conf, and then this will be empty. I will just give the code here, so don't worry, it will be in my GitHub. So I already pasted it, but I'll show you anyway, but I'll explain to you. So you just, this is this TCP output, this is just a stanza. So you give TCP output and then just a name, custom name. I gave error group, and then the server name, which is which indexer that I want to send. In my case, this is the indexer 1, which is the Splunk one. So I gave the address of the Splunk one, which is 154, obviously. So 154, and the next one is 234, and then this is just a normal listening port. You can give whatever you want, but I gave 99997. So I think this works perfectly. So there is nothing much you need to be done. You just control save. It's nothing but just a normal input file. And now what you're supposed to do is for TCP routing, you have to create two files, which is props.conf and then transform.conf. So what this does is that props.conf tells, if, for example, what you need to do in the transform is just transforms the data and the transforms what other stuffs you need to the corresponding TCP routing. So what I mean by that is I'll just explain it a little bit easier with an example. So now we can go to the same, we are in the same folder. So now the first thing we want to create is props.conf, nano props.conf. So props.conf, we're going to say transform routing. Before that, we're going to create a source type. So as you know, our source type is 1. So what are the source type you created when we did this stuff? We gave a source type, no? The same source type we have to give here. That's very important. So for this HF to recognize that we are dealing with this file, so test1. The transform is nothing but we're just saying transform, comma, you can keep on going. In our case, we're just doing 2. So we just say error routing, and then 2 classes, 2 name of the classes that we want to do the transform, what we are going to do basically. So this is just saying to transform routing is equal to error routing. successfully. We're just specifying the class here. Then we save. Then the next step we go is nano conf. This is where we explain a little bit more. As you know, error routing is what we created in the props.conf. Let me just explain with this. That's why I created this, to explain a little bit easier. So if you see the same code, we are looking here. This is the file name. I have used the file name. So what we are doing is we're just taking the class error routing. So what we do here is, and this is corresponding to the test one for our case. So test one, and then we're trying to transform this by this. So we're just going here, error routing. We come here to the error routing class. We just write in regex. Regex is regular expression to see what kind of events that you want to filter and then route. So what I mean by this, I have given error. So just be careful when I say that. When you give error, if, for example, if for the error event, if there is a capital error, give capital error, small error. If you give small lowercase error, if the value is exactly there in this event as well, you will see that is extracted and sent to the error class as well, error index that we don't want. What I mean by that is that if there is an error in a particular event which is not an error event itself, for example, I have a success event and this is a success event, and then it says error in a particular class, and that will be sent to the indexer also. So be careful when you name it. So that's why I gave capital error in mind, and then the destination key, you just say I want a TCP route, and then you just give the format because you error, and then you're going to send it to error group. So what this will do is, no, this is okay, this is error routing, and the error group is the one which you give in the outputs.conf, that you gave it in the outputs.conf. So the error is the name, the same name you have to give error group, so that it knows where to send when there is an error event. So this goes the same for the success routing. So just give the regex a success, destination key, and TP. It works perfectly. So once you have created both, obviously, so now, like I said, it's a little bit of okay. ls, just check we were in nano transformed out. Yes, I am the first. Yeah, so perfect. Regex, destination key, TP routing, format, error group, success, everything is good. So we just basically save, perfect. And then now what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to go to the two instances and check for the forwarding and routing. So I have done that already. So if you do this, this is the error instance, obviously. You go to the settings, forwarding and routing. Obviously, you're going to receive. Just click add and then type and then click save. I've already done that, so I don't need to do that. And the same here. Go. This is the indexer 2. Do the same. Add, then the same listening port which you give, I give. So it's there. Here, if you go, I'm sure you would have not done any configuration in the GUI, but you had done it in the outputs.conf. So by default, if you go and see the forwarding, configure forwarding, it will already be there because you have configured in the, because you have configured in the outputs.conf. So that's the beautiful thing about the Splunk. So as you can see, it's already there. It's good for us. Now what we are supposed to do is, as you have done that, everything is fine. Now you're supposed to do is, as I've already done, everything is in the good shape. You have to give cd output slash splunk slash bin and then a good restart. Splunk Restart. The good restart is always needed. Save the good restart. Just check if there is anything in the index main, because I just want to make sure, because I have two files is connected to the same stuff. So I think I already deleted it, but we just check anyway. Index main, yeah, obviously nothing, because I deleted it, because I tried with that. So just check again. Index main, search, nothing. It's good. So logging in, just give the password. I think this is not near as well. Yeah, we just can do it directly here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the log file that we created at the beginning, opt slash splunk var log slash splunk. Now we'll see all the stuff, but we want nano test.log. Obviously there's nothing. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the custom event that we created, which is the error one. Still Control C, and I'll just paste it just twice to show you, I guess. Error event, the same error event, obviously. If you want to see it in the full, yes, the error event, then we'll just save it, Control Y, and so this is obviously being monitored. So this is the error one, so just check it anyway. As you can see, 2 times the error event is been here. So if I check here, obviously it's not going to be there because it's a success event. It's not there. Success event is obviously not there. So now if there is any word that says error here, obviously it's going to be there. I suppose there is no error. Let's just see, Control C, then go here, up. We'll just do the same thing again. Come back to the same. Maybe we'll just do 3 times. Control X, Y, up, save. And now all we can do is go to here and then see. We must see the 3 events, which I pasted. So this is how you guys can filter and route to the corresponding stuffs that I told you. So basically, if we get errors in the future, that will be sent to indexer 1, and if it's a success, it's obviously going to send to indexer 1. So I think this video helped you guys. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and catch you in the other one. Until then, be safe. Bye bye, everyone.